The New York Knicks just beat the Chicago Bulls by the score of 116 to 100, and Chris and I are here to break it all down. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel and Chris from Knicks Digest. And Chris, let's get right into today's game. I think the first thing we should definitely talk about your boy Julius Randle. Second half, Julius Randle coming alive. Ended the game with 35 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 13 of 23 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3 point. And I believe it was 20 or 22 points in the second half. Talk to me about your boy, man. Your boy's been on a heater.
In the words of Marlon Kraft, putting work in the pandemic, Julius Randle. Julius Randle balled out once again. It is awesome to see him playing at this rate. I think one of the reasons, and obviously he's been playing well for a while, this is game number 19 in a row that he has had over 20 points or more, which is the first time a Knick has went that long since Melo did that in 2014. So obviously it's been basically, probably Melo probably didn't do it on the third day of 2014, but it's been basically 10 years since the Knicks have had a guy who's this consistently putting up 20 points in a game.
Sheesh.
And that's a problem as it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, the fact that Randall has been able to do this has been unbelievable. He's just an automatic 20 point per game scorer. His numbers are going to keep going up. I understand that he had the slow start and therefore his numbers are bad. His 3 point percentage is still below 30. Julius Randle is an all-star. He's an all-NBA level player. This is the best season of his career. If you take out every game before November 3rd, when he was clearly hobbled, his stats would make him look like he is the all-NBA player that he is. He was playing on an injury, which players don't do nowadays. Julius is a rare breed for doing that because he actually cares so much about the Knicks. He's one of the longest tenured Knicks out of everyone who is currently playing, so not counting Mitchell Robinson. Julius is the longest tenured Knick.
Right.
And he's just absolutely doing work. Like, to get 35 points, to also add in 4 assists, a few beautiful passes like that one to Hartenstein, getting 3 for 7 from 3. I mean, he doesn't shoot a bunch of threes anymore, but tonight he had the green light. 3 for 7 for Julius Randle. I will not complain about that any day of the week. 42.9%. That's easy money. And obviously it was a team effort, but we know this team runs through Brunson and Randle, and they absolutely showed it tonight.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I can't give you any slander. Julius Randle came to play and this quick decisions, put his head down, attack the rim. Yeah, man, he's just been on a heater lately, and I really can't say anything. So I'm gonna keep quiet about Julius Randle. But as far as his running mate, Jaylen Brunson, 31 points, and this is the first game of this season where they both have 30-point games. Jaylen Brunson ended with 31 points, 3 rebounds, 13 assists, ending up with 13 of 22 from the field and 4 of 9 from 3 point land. I feel like Jaylen Brunson's game was a little bit more quiet than Julius Randle's game. I'm not sure. I can't really pinpoint as to why I feel like Jaylen Brunson's game was a little bit more quiet. But I do want to give a shout out to the big man, Isaiah Hartenstein. 10 points and 20 rebounds, man. And it was against
5 blocks.
5 blocks.
5 blocks also.
Yeah, he's been like the second coming of Dikembe Mutombo out of nowhere. But going up against Andre Drummond, so it's definitely not an easy task. Andre Drummond is definitely a big boy, so it's not like a fluke of a game or anything. But this brings me to a question that I want to ask you. First and foremost, Jericho Sims didn't play until the garbage minutes of the last of the fourth quarter. Did Taj Gibson get in the game? No, right?
No, Taj and Evan Fournier didn't play at all.
Okay, so when Isaiah Hartenstein wasn't in the game, who moved to the 5? Was it Randall?
It was Precious.
Precious, right. It was Precious. Okay. That's interesting though because Precious he doesn't seem like a 5. I get it. You don't need like a traditional 5 nowadays, but I'm just thinking along the lines of Isaiah Hartenstein and like what he brings to the team right now is pure energy and hustle. And yeah, he could definitely give like the nice passes. He has a nice touch for a big man. But I'm just thinking since Mitchell Robinson is going to be out for the rest of the season, Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be hustling a lot. There was like a possession towards the end of the game where Isaiah Hartenstein was able to get like 2 or 3 extra possessions, and it was just pure on hustle. So I'm just like, man, like the energy that this guy's going to be expending, like hopefully we look into the buyout market or the trade market. We looking to get another big. I just don't know who it is out there.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. Hartenstein played 37 minutes tonight, and the way that he's working, I don't know if I love that. I'm not sure, and
Right.
obviously tonight it was necessary. It was a close game, and there is an argument. I would not say so, but there is an argument that he had the best game of any Knick tonight.
Right.
Like again, 20 rebounds, 5 blocks, also putting in 10 points. He played a monstrous game. Went 4 for 6 from the field. He did everything right. There was nothing wrong with the way that Hartenstein played. But also 37 minutes a night against the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel great about that. It maybe is a sign that the Knicks are trying to figure out what Precious is and can he be that guy. I'm kind of hoping they look towards the buyout market, they look towards the trade market and get someone. I don't really know who it is, but someone else come playoffs you can put in a basketball game and trust them. Because the thing is, the Knicks have 3 other centers or guys who could play center in Taj Gibson, Precious Achiuwa, and Jericho Sims. First of all, none of them are above 6'10". None of them are 6'10". And
Right.
also, we're not convinced that any of them can get actual rotational minutes during the playoffs. And one thing that's evidently clear is that this is a playoff basketball team that we're watching in the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, great. This is a good win against Chicago Bulls, and it was definitely a grinded out win. But if we're being realistic, we're comparing the Knicks with the other Eastern Conference powerhouses. We're talking about Milwaukee, we're talking about Boston, and I think it's time that we throw Philly in there as well. So like when you compare the Knicks to those three, Isaiah Hartenstein going up against a Brook Lopez, going up against a Chris Stapps, going up against a Joel Embiid. Like Isaiah Hartenstein is always going to get the short end of the stick against all those matchups. So that's like further down the road. But as far as right now, as far as tonight, huge shout out to Isaiah Hartenstein coming up big, playing like a true big man. What about your boy Deuce? Get him.
Deuce Hive. I love Deuce McBride.
10 minutes.
Obviously, he got those 10 minutes. He's there to be the backup point guard for Brunson. I hope that it works out. I think the Knicks are trying to figure out if Deuce or Malachi Flynn is the move. Clearly, they believe in Deuce, or they would not have given him that extension. But
They're
I'm
they're
just kind of
they're
hoping
they're giving him time though. They are definitely giving him time. You could tell that
they're
they're
giving
like,
him. And I think it's one of those things where we have to see basically what Deuce can do on the offensive end. We know he's an elite defender. We know that his defense coming off the bench is some of the better defense you're going to get of any player coming off the bench in general when we're talking perimeter defense. The question is, does he have any game offensively? Because, again, same way as I felt about Hartenstein having 37 minutes, and though I do see your point of, yeah, Brooke, Embiid, Kristaps, all great big men, all very great big men. I'm not even as concerned with that as I am concerned with the minutes that are being played. Randle played 29 minutes and played basically 21 minutes in the first half. And then Brunson played 38 minutes tonight. The bench, going into the season, the Knicks had the best bench in the NBA. Now the bench is the question for the Knicks. What can they do outside of Grimes and Josh Hart? Are they going to need to add someone? Because the bench right now, my big realization is this bench has no shot creation. They have to look for something in the trade market. And it doesn't need to be some major trade. It can probably be a trade you could pull off with like second round picks and Evan Fournier's contract. For instance, maybe someone like Terry Rozier, like someone who's on a bad team who can create their own shot, play 15 minutes a night, and just be able to make a play or something or shoot something off the dribble because the bench does not have that right now.
facts.
And not to
No,
bash them because we just won a game by 16 points against the Bulls team that's been pretty good, but it is my one concern because our starting lineup is great.
no, 100%. We should be concerned as Knicks fans. Yeah, it's just one thing with Deuce. It's just like they're obviously giving him minutes and they want to see what he brings to the table. But I feel like Deuce, when he gets on the floor, I feel like he plays to not make mistakes.
I agree.
I feel like he plays that way instead of just playing the game. And tonight there were a few moments where I'm looking at Coach Tibbs on the sideline, and he's like throwing his arms in frustration. I think it was a Hartenstein misrotation, or somebody turned the ball over, and he's throwing his arm in frustration. And I'm just like, that's just annoying to me. That just makes me think that like the players are playing to not make a mistake instead of just playing aggressive and playing the game. So I don't know. That might just me. That might be just me and what I'm seeing, and I might be making that up. Hopefully, I am. But I would like to see Deuce be more aggressive, and that way we can really tell what he's able to bring to the table, and to see if we need someone from the trade market or the buyout market. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I think with Deuce, part of it, you're definitely right that he is sort of playing carefully, if nothing else. He's playing a very risk-averse style. Where in the NBA, that's not going to work because if you think about anything before you do it, by the time you're going to do it, you're going to turn the ball over because the defense has read that. That's just the pace of the NBA. They're the smartest players on the court around the world. They're the best players around the world. You can't really make those mistakes. And it's not even that he was making mistakes. It's that he looked that he was very risk averse.
Yeah.
And I think something with Deuce could potentially be he's getting thrown into having minutes and also getting an extension where he's sort of thinking to himself, this team trusts me to be the backup point guard when their franchise player in Jaylen Brunson is not on the court. I need to show them something. My number's been called. This is my time. I don't want to screw this up. And instead of trying to show out, maybe he's more thinking, all right, I need to get in my groove. Am I doing things right? Am I going to make this mistake? How do I not screw this up instead of how do I capitalize on this? And now, obviously, I'm not in Deuce's head. I don't know that. But it is something to just be aware of. I think we can definitely see Deuce get comfortable and start to show something offensively. He doesn't need to be a lights out shooter. He doesn't need to have a tremendous offensive game. We need him to be able to create shots for Josh Hart, for Quentin Grimes, create pick and rolls with Precious Achiuwa. That's really what we need. And I think if they don't do that, that's why the Knicks have Malachi Flynn, is once he comes back, they're going to think, all right, well, Deuce works defensively, but he doesn't work offensively, maybe. And Malachi Flynn is the exact opposite of that. So I'm interested to see what happens there with the backup point guard thing. And if neither of them work, then yeah, maybe that's what you use Fournier's contract for.
Good win tonight. Definitely a grinded out win, but a W is a W. Now, Friday. Friday is a big game. We got Philly. They're coming to New York. We got Joel Embiid, who is just completely running through the league right now. And it's actually what we were talking about a little earlier. Isaiah Hartenstein going up against Embiid. So we'll see how he matches up. I mean, anybody's going to have a hard time with that guy. That guy is freaking Hakeem 2.0, honestly.
If Hartenstein fouls out or gets in foul trouble early, the Knicks could be in for a very long night. That's where having one big man who's above 6'8" is going to sort of get uncomfortable. But Hartenstein's good at not fouling, so who knows? Maybe he'll show up again. I mean, no one expected this. I mean, to get 20 rebounds in a game where you're playing against Andre Drummond is pretty impressive. So clearly Hartenstein's up for the challenge. He's up for the task. And outside of that, I'm also curious if OG Anunoby is going to guard Tyrese Maxey. And one last shout out once again to OG Anunoby, because since joining the New York Knicks in these two games, his plus minus is plus 58. And he was over plus 30 tonight. Something that in 5 years, RJ Barrett never did. No shade to RJ. Congrats on the Raptors for winning, and congrats on Quickly for 26-5.
All right, guys. So we're going to end the video there. Leave it in the comments. Let us know what you thought about today's game and the big win that we had against Chicago Bulls. But until next time, we'll check you out on another video. Peace.